Hello, hello! I can't hear the game, but it's also not really making any sound. Wait, what? Why is it dead silent? Huh, that was weird. I wonder if I wasn't clicked on it, so maybe it just doesn't play in background? I don't know. I don't think Factorio has something that stops it playing in the background. Sorry, I'm still a little bit away from the mic right now. So my voice is probably coming through a little bit muffled. It's at least, I mean, it says it's decently loud, just not the volume I normally keep it at. Okay. We should be good now. Wait, what's this? Okay. Let's see. We have some issues with our refueling outpost, which makes sense because it's getting attacked constantly. So I guess it's not really issues, but they're summoning trains way more often than they're supposed to be, which means we'll struggle to refuel as many outposts as I need to, which could very much be a problem. Show on map. Yeah, like right here, it's kind of waiting. Wait a minute. Why is it not returning? I'm confused. Oh, I have it wait for inactivity. That's dumb. Time passed. Like 30 seconds should be good enough. Did those crash? No. Okay, that was terrifying. But yeah, we have it waiting for inactivity for something that moves a fluid. Okay, it looks like we fixed the other one. We didn't fix this one. I guess we could do inactivity 20 seconds or like 1 minute. 1 minute's not too bad. Okay, that makes sense. We fixed one of the trains, but not the other. But basically, we just have such a small constant drain on the tank because of the fluids that they're never really going to fully empty like that. But it looks better now. So we're actually not producing as much iron as I should because we're out of. Oh, wait a minute. We're out of pyroflux. That's why all of our smelting has stopped? Really? Okay. The base is apparently really bad because we're out of pyroflux. Do we not just ship enough over here? Wait a minute. Do I still deliver it by, rocket? Oh my gosh, the pyroflux for this planet still gets delivered via capsule? Oh, that's hilarious. Or whatever we call these. Blocks. Okay. Well, that's a very easy thing to fix. I didn't realize that it got the deprioritized vulcanite that is shipped via that. That's a great way to have my main planet be handled. Okay, so this is a very, like I said, very easy fix. Let's see. Can we place it here? Yeah, okay. I don't know where that's being delivered to. Oh, I decided to cut corners for the prod threes. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's going pretty good, aside from the fact that our base is falling apart. But you know that's normal. Okay, and then we'll switch this one to a blacklist and we'll move it over here. And then this one can just be active provider. Okay, and now we switch it to a vulcanite landing pad, which I wish you could search these or alphabetize them in any way. It's just it's a pretty minor pet peeve, but it does bother me that there's no way to sort them considering how often I have to launch rockets. So this is 5. This is our vulcanite planet. We're also just not producing enough vulcanite. So I mean this is really just that's probably the real reason why it started to suffer. Because this can only do so much. We weren't using a ton of vulcanite for like the longest time, and then we set up a lot of different things that consumed it pretty consistently. So now I guess we're just starting to suffer. So, I mean, it's an easy fix, right? Well, okay, easy is a strong word. I don't know what our bottlenecks are on this planet. um, I think we just need to make a new mining setup. The issue with that is we don't really have a vulcanite design that works. Okay, let's see. If we send blue belt, that does fix it a little bit. I don't know what we have on that planet. Let's see. Vulcanite, not vulcanite, centrifuge. We have 14 centrifuges that we can use. Do we have any modules or beacons? Okay, 20 beacons, modules. We have a decent amount of modules, so we could theoretically slightly more than double our production fairly easily. Because this is a pretty easy setup to do, right? Honestly, we're more limited by belt speed than I thought. That's probably why we have these recycled so weirdly. So yeah, we're just belt speed limited. I mean, we're not just belt speed limited. That's a poor way to phrase it. We're belt speed limited as well as, let's see, does this work? I don't know if that'll be on the right side. But we're belt speed limited, but we're also consuming everything on the belt. So it's like only slightly belt speed limited. But if we improve the belt speed, nothing will change. We won't get any more resources. So pulverizer, I guess we can do another one of these. We have enough power on this planet that we can remove the efficiency modules from this. We could try to make a good design. I mean, it's been a while. This is obviously not a good design, considering how quickly we are limited in speed. Yeah, I think we're way too speed limited for me to be happy with that design. Okay. Now these should probably get prods and beacons, so that should use our typical mining setup, which we do actually have now. We could also try to set up core mining. That might be worth it. I'm not entirely sure. And then I think if we reroute this around and we reroute this one around, we can combine them into a splitter. And we're going to do a splitter because I don't actually know how fast it will produce, but I'm assuming this won't be more than one belt. And then these use all speed 2s, which we do not have on this planet, so we're going to have to do a downgrade planner from speed 2s, no, speed 1s to speed 2s, perfect. Yeah, we don't even have that many speed 1s. Honestly, we just need to send a new building rocket over here. I don't even know if we have that many drills. Drill. Okay, actually, we're really good on drills. Maybe I should just remove the modules and try to find more drills. Ooh, also, we have beryllium on this planet. Not a ton, but I mean, we could do local beryllium production. That could be cheap. Is this a planet that I should realistically do trains on? I don't know. I think it would be fun to keep this planet completely train free for no reason. That would definitely, I don't know, it would make it a little bit easier because all I have to do is connect red belts. It's obviously not the cheapest option to have one red belt going across the whole place, but it is a fun option. I do like doubling down and not having trains. Okay, and then I guess we can do some vertical processing. I don't really have a good way to remove modules from this. Oh wait, yeah, we can just reassign the recipe later. I guess it's not a huge deal. I don't even know if we have crushers over here. Okay. So we could do math or we could just guess. Those are two options. I feel like guessing usually works pretty well. I mean, it looks like these can, three of these pretty much consumes a whole belt, right? So that's 6 vulcanite over 1 second times 3 because they're beaconed. So 6 times 3, that's 18 plus times 3 again, that's about 45. Okay, so yeah, this pretty much, wait, 45? That doesn't make sense. I messed that up. This consumes 6 vulcanite over three times a second. What's wrong there? Nothing's wrong there. We just can't run 3 of them. Okay, that's what's wrong. We just can't run 3. Okay. Well, we can do 2 with no speed modules. But yeah, this is all we can run. Okay. And then output-wise, it does 25% stone, 3 crushed, 10% enriched. So we are getting half as much out as we're getting in. So why is this throughput limited? Oh, because of the recycling. So I want to do 4 here, so that way we can do a full belt. I think that would be good. Then we can do a filtered inserter. If we do 1 filtered inserter out, that should be fine. Now this looks like it's doing some kind of blacklist. So which one's the blacklist and which one isn't? I think I figured it out. Hello Dice, welcome, welcome. We need to apparently expand our smelting still. We fixed it last time and then it turns out we actually ran out of vulcanite, so it wasn't actually fixed, which makes sense. I mean, nothing we have ever works. Okay, whoa, hold on. My mouse ran over a piece of some lint, I think. That is so unusual in fact. I know, right? It's so unusual in Factorio to have a bottleneck once you thought you fixed it. Nobody's ever ran into that before. It's crazy what kind of unique stuff you run into whenever you play modded Factorio, I guess. And then we can move this up, or we can just leave it there because we're not actually entity limited. Okay, so this is a full belt of crushed. This is a full belt of junk, which gives me enriched, crushed, and stone. Okay, and now we send them to this processing. So the issue with this processing is that I don't have the throughput to support it. So like the idea almost worked. We just need to separate the belts and do the enrichment. We need to do the enrichment somewhere else, basically, which is simple enough. So I think the only real problem we had here is that we did the enrichment. Oh wait, how are we getting stone out of here? Where does stone go? Oh, those aren't blacklists. Oh, stone we're outputting on the other side. Okay. I did this wrong. That makes sense. I forgot about this section. Okay. There we go. Wait, which one am I replacing? These, and these. Okay, there we go. And then stone we can get rid of on the other side. Which, I mean, this... I think this technically won't run fully. I'm just kind of trying to make it run fully, but I definitely am pretty sure, that we don't have enough vulcanite throughput to make this work. But that's okay. It's expandable. And we're building it outside of the range of bots right now, because that makes it a whole lot easier when they don't actually build things, once I change my mind and realize that is not at all how I want it to look. A classic tale. Okay, that is, I mean, it's pretty ugly, but it works, right? Sounds like all of our burner designs, so might as well, that's what we're used to, we might as well just accept it. And then stone we can filter out on the other side. So stone we should be able to just share that belt, because I don't think stone has a high enough throughput for anything to be problematic. To the point where we're actually going to use a yellow belt for stone. Because it, like I said, does not have throughput issues. Okay, and then we'll combine it here. Because now, once it meets up here, it might have throughput issues. Underground. I don't know how we're getting water on this planet. Oh, we're not. Wait, what? What is this? Is this just purging water? This might just be to purge water. It might not actually have a purpose, which seems kind of wasteful. But it looks like there's some kind of setup here that we did like 100 hours, 100 hours ago. This would have been like 6 months ago. Oh no, these can go both ways. Okay, it's not purging water. I mean, it purges water if we somehow get like 24K produced from core mining and we consume 0, but that is not liable to happen. I can probably increase this value though, because I feel like that's bad for water pressure to have it that low. Although I don't know if that matters. I guess I don't really know how pressure works. It might not matter. I think we've established before that it doesn't actually matter in that way. Okay, so we have a full belt of crushed. We have a full belt of enriched. Now we can split those off and send these to whatever this is doing, which we might not actually have those industrial furnaces. There might be a reason those are missing. Yeah, they're missing because we ran out of them. So if we send a little bit of blue belt right here, that will allow us to expand this very easily. Or even right here. So then we can make this processing and we can just connect it here with a blue belt and that'll give us 50% more production. Because I don't actually know what we're limited by. I think we're mostly limited by... No, yeah, we're limited almost entirely by belt speed. Okay, and then if we do these differently with beacons, that would be useful. So we really should not use this setup at all. So sand we can filter out a different way. We need crushed vulcanite and high volume. So for crushed vulcanite, we really should use a stack inserter. Maybe we can filter out the outputs differently. That would probably be a good idea. And I'm assuming this uses all the sulfur it gets. Yeah, so I'm thinking unfiltered outputs is a good idea. And then we can switch to prod modules, which we'll have to ship over here. And these will just be separate. We won't have them be combined because that actually complicates. Okay, so stack inputs, very easy. Long inserters for the sulfur, easy as well. And then what are their outputs? Their outputs are enriched, non-enriched, and sulfur. Okay, or sorry, sand. So yeah, I say we can just output everywhere. Ooh, things are being damaged. Things are being destroyed. That's a big attack. Oh, that's something we need to take care of, actually. It's not something we can just say, oh, that's a big attack too, and be okay. That's a hole in our base. I don't like that. There we go. And this doesn't have a refuel station anywhere nearby because this wasn't supposed to be a bit rough. Yeah, it also doesn't help that this was this was a place that I thought was relatively safe, so we just kind of ignored it. But now that we have the artillery shooting, I think we're gonna get attacked from every corner more often. So yeah, that combined with not overprotecting corners, that was a rough combination. But yeah, I've heard corners are really bad to defend. Like ideally, I think they should be round, right? Like I think that's supposed to be better. Okay, will these have throughput issues? I think they will, so I might actually do stack inserters from both sides to solve the throughput problem. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Except on this side, it needs to be fast undergrounds. Instead of regular belt. And then I decided I didn't actually want to filter the outputs. I wanted to filter them after. Will I have throughput problems if I do that? Let's see. 12 go in, 8 go out. Yeah, we will 100% have throughput issues. So we just need to recycle things quickly. What I could do is output immediately onto the belts. So maybe I should do filters. So if I output the enriched stuff immediately back onto the belt. That helps with the throughput. It's a little bit annoying to chain. But yeah, we could do that for all of these. And then we could have a filter inserter for the remaining 2 items. I guess these don't produce that fast, so I don't think the throughput is going to be too bad. We just can't have this few of belts going in. What are the other options? What if I filter out... Actually, I don't really have a plan. Okay, I think... Oops. I liked this option for maintaining the outputs. And then this can go here. We're actually going to delete all these. What if, imagine this were burners inserters? I don't think I want to. Gosh, this would be horrible to do with burner inserters. Maybe we should do it. Nah, we don't. We don't need to do that to ourselves. Okay, so really the only thing I care about is black. No, this has to be a filter. It can be a stack inserter though. Why am I making that a regular inserter? Okay. And then there's a more efficient way we can do this now. Perfect. Okay, so we do regular belt, underground, underground. We'll copy this. Perfect. That looks a lot better. And then this gets the remaining 2, which hopefully do not have throughput problems. So it's hard to say. Oh wait, we can fix the throughput problems by doing this though. Oh, I don't really know how high this is going to be. Currently this is only 4. You know, let's do the outer layers later once I know how many I'm going to make. But right now this is a pretty general design that I can use. Okay, and then beacons are going to be a little bit annoying, right? Okay, we can obviously have some there. And that's going to power the bottom 3. Okay, so that's going to get those 4. Can I... Is there any way I can make this get those bottom 2? No, we'd have to start with a different half. Change our tessellation if I wanted to make this work. Which probably would be worth it. No, I think that would be worth it, right? No, I guess either way. I don't think it divides properly. How many do we have? Oh, we have 12. Okay, which means there should be a way to make a pattern that works. Yeah, if we take this and we place it at the top, that gives us a much nicer experience. And tessellates a lot better, doesn't leave anything not outputting. Yeah, that's the strat. Okay, and then this is where we have throughput problems, right? Yeah, and then this needs, we're gonna give it speed 2s, I think. Then we're gonna give these prod 2s, so we're gonna give these all prod 2s. We're gonna give these speed 2s as well. Perfect. And then powering these nothing won't be a problem because we'll be able to launch substations. I think this should work decently. I mean, we say that a lot. It's sometimes true. Hopefully it's true this time as well. Ooh, this powers those nicely. Okay, cool. So this needs a sulfur belt. This needs an enrichment. So how do we do that? Okay, I think for this one, we can recycle stuff here. Then we can send it on the inside. And then this probably needs a side swapper. Or a side balancer. Because these are going to be side balanced. And then we can recycle everything and then send the excess to the right. I think that'll work. We need prios. Perfect. Okay. And then we'll copy that so we have that there. Input priority should be from the new stuff. And then the old stuff gets just sent somewhere. Yeah, because the whole point of this is to enrich. And if this stuff isn't going anywhere, we don't need to worry about it. Yeah, okay. Now, I don't really know how large we can make this, so I think I'm just going to have a gap, and this is where I'm going to filter things out. I also don't know. I feel like we're going to have throughput problems. We'll see. This is supposed to have a filter. It's going to send both of these back around, and it will filter them out. Yeah, that'll work. I don't know. Maybe it won't. It could be very broken. The issue is we don't really have anything within bot reach right now to set filters on. Then this inside one, we can make the new resource. And then... Oh, wait. There we go. That's, that was wrong. Okay, this can be sent to crafting, and then now we need to get the outer layer, which I'm realizing now this we should have done way differently. But we can do it like this. Perfect. Okay. And then same thing. I think that's good. And this will send the excess, this will send the excess, and I think everything is okay. I don't know why there's like never music. Is it because I'm in satellite view? I feel like this is extra quiet, extra more quiet than normal, but I don't know why. Oh, now there's music. Okay, maybe I'm just used to doing the burner designing and having a separate soundtrack on. That I've forgotten how quiet the game is normally. Which is probably why I started putting music on whenever I do the editing, because there's not really factory sounds most of the time when you're zoomed in somewhere else. I mean, normally I don't mind because the factory sounds are fun, but when there aren't any factory sounds, it's rough. Okay, so we need to ship a lot of stuff to this planet. The real question, though, is do we have a spot to send building resources? And I want to say no, we don't. And I also don't think we do anything with logic anymore, so we can probably remove this completely. Actually, wait, how am I getting sulfur over here? How do I get sulfur on this planet? Oh, we make it locally. Okay, that makes sense, because we can ship pretty dense water. I don't know if we can process stone fast enough. Oh, never mind, it looks like it's good. I don't know what we're doing with it. We might just be storing it as landfill. Yeah, we're just storing it as landfill. I guess that's fine. It's a little bit wasteful, but I mean, there could be worse. Okay, so if this needs to be a building rocket, that means we need to delete all of this. This can be filtered. There we go. Get rid of those. Okay. That has glass. I think we're gonna back up on glass. We really need to solve glass. I think we have problems. I'm glad our rocket setup though is actually kind of okay these days, because it was bad for a while. Still not the best, but it was really bad for a long time. I guess we can just put the building rocket here, huh? So we can just delete all these. We can delete all these. Because these really do not get used for anything. We have completely dismantled this and we just kind of repurposed it. Okay, so this can be Mordigian landing pad. Actually, do I have a building pad? No, I think for our building rocket, we change where it goes every time, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. We haven't used it in a while. I don't remember exactly how we do the setup for requests. Let's see, where is one with a functional building rocket? That's what we're requesting. That's not ideal. No, I think there's a better way. I just don't remember what it is. Let's see. This one might be good. Okay, so the request going... No, that's not a building rocket. Where's the building rocket? Ah, there we go. Okay. So the only thing we have on the space side is this. And because this is a building rocket, I guess that works. So all the chests go into the negative side of the combinator, and that's literally all there is to it. Okay. That is fine with me. So this can be disconnected. This can be disconnected. So it goes red, 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 negative, and voila. Pretty sure that is all we need to do. Hopefully we did. Hopefully we did that right. I feel like we didn't, but it might. It might get a negative. Wait, what's the? Why am I multiplying it by 1? That does nothing, right? That does literally nothing. Did I do this wrong? Did I do this wrong? I mean, I would have to have done that wrong because there's no way that would be the intention. Okay, I multiply it when it goes through. 1 times 1 equals 1,111. Is that how it works? Okay, so I'm just saying request 1,111 times more than I asked for. That makes sense. I can get behind this. Yeah, math is really weird if that's how it works. No, math is wild. I'm glad I don't try to do it most of the time. Those are the results. Okay, so it looks like what happened is I used to have the request on the end, but then I realized if I'm doing a building rocket, I'm never going to have power go out to the point where I care if I send too much through the building rocket. So that's basically what happened there. And then this, we don't really need the high quality modules on this planet. They're pretty cheap though. Seriously, that is a... Oh, wait, that's a legit problem? How does that work? I guess... What, does anyone know? Is that the issue? Okay, we need 200 prod 1s, by the way, for the setup that we just made. Oh, and I said I needed blue belt. We've never seen blue belt before. Wait, why don't I have belt in this rocket request? Oh, I do. It's just always required, so I have it separate. That makes sense. Okay, so we need blue belt. We don't actually need a ton of undergrounds. We need some splitters. Let's bring about 50. We really should just start shipping blue belt, though. I think we're at the point where there's no reason for us not to use blue belt on every planet. There we go. Okay, so I think I can activate these now. And then this will go to the Mordigian landing pad. But yeah, the building rocket we don't have fully automating because there wasn't really any reason for that. You forgot, but CPU does some weird addition thingy. Okay. That sounds like a CPU thing, a weird thingy a CPU would do. Okay, I hope I did this right, but really hope I did this right. I think we're good. No, this seems okay. Floating point math is weird, yeah. I don't I still think it's crazy how computers exist. I don't they really shouldn't. Like I feel like there's no legitimate reason why things work and function and exist. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm glad that I wasn't alive when we had to figure out how it worked. Because obviously people did. Okay, so I think this is looking a little bit better though. I mean, this is going to fill really slowly, and then it's going to get done with the belts, and then everything's going to fly by. I feel like I'm sending way too many warehouses that I never use, so I might decrease these to like 10. Oh, wait. The warehouses I don't always send. Oh, that makes sense. Cool. I was smart enough to realize I don't need these in most planets, and then just didn't send them to most planets. Cool. What I should really do is have like an array of combinators that I can enable and disable as necessary, and I can change the combinator to output them all as 0. And the reason I would do that is so that way I could have them like grouped as like oh, this is what I need for assembling, this is what I need for nuclear power, this is what I need for refining, because not all planets need refining junk. But I don't think it's that big of a concern, but it's something I can think. It leads to so many weird glitch. Oh, really? Leads to issues in Factorio? Like the crafting time bug. Wait, you mean like the negative crafting? What's the crafting? The only one I can think of is whenever you put in the negative and it started crafting things backwards. Why are we just watching that? Okay. We can double check to make sure this is actually how I want it to look. That would be a good use. We also need to make sure we actually bring enough stuff. Nope. Okay. So we don't have sulfur connected. That's pretty trivial to do. Let's just do that with yellow belt because we decided that yellow belt is cheap, right? I think yellow belt is locally produced. Yeah, yellow belt's locally produced. Okay, so we can just split off of this into here and we're good. So you're guessing that's also how you get 39% progress on a 40% prod craft. Does that actually happen? Oh, so like if you actually try to calculate something perfect like that, you would be sad. That makes sense. See, most recipes when crafted by a character take 1 extra tick. Really? I feel like that must make the tasks awful, right? I mean, at least it's probably consistent, but that that must add a lot of time before you get assembling machines. I mean, maybe not a ton of time, but what is... Oh, this is the module inserter thing. I'm assuming that adds up a lot. Not super noticeable by a person, but could easily be like a second or two for a task. Okay, and then this is enrichment. Perfect. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. I just don't know if it's long enough, so we might need to cut this and shift it up at some point. And then we haven't set any of the filters. That makes sense. Okay, I actually set the wrong filters for these, so maybe that wasn't a good idea. I actually just need a blacklist filter, don't I? So if we just take this and blacklist... Probably should have checked to make sure my blueprint was right before I copied it. But that way we don't have stack size issues with this. Okay, blacklist in the middle, whitelist, whitelist. Okay, cool. So, the issue with this is that we are recycling junk and we are not really taking care of that. So this gets sand and it gets other stuff as well. So we'll go up, we'll go down with all of them and see how many we actually have. I think we have a set of 8. Oh, this is only 12. This isn't how long it's supposed to be. Well, okay, if I know for sure it's supposed to be longer than this, I should definitely make it longer, because I meant to do 16. I just can't count. Let's see, it's consistent on a recipe base, however, not all recipes. Oh, Iron Gear takes 31, Firearm Magazine takes 6. That is... What? That is very weird. I would not want to have to, like, figure out how to work around that in the task when planning. Is it just, like, trial and error when you have to do stuff like that, then? Or do you have it somehow calculated in the task ahead of time? I don't know how you would do that, though. Which one's the enriched? Oh, I can choose. Actually, no, I can't. No, I can't. Honestly, I probably shouldn't... I shouldn't be recycling the enriched stuff here at all. That's silly of me. Yeah, this just shouldn't exist. There we go. And then we can do the same thing here. There we go. We don't want to recycle the enriched. We want to. And honestly, most of this stuff immediately goes to whatever I want to call this. Processing. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so these actually already have prod 2s, so that's reasonable. And then we have not filtered out the sand. Well, we filtered out the sand. It just doesn't go anywhere, I guess. Now, this is the thing. I'm not sure if is it sand or stone that we can handle. It looks like we don't have an issue with either. Although we might soon. I don't know what happens when this glass fills up. We don't really have a way to take care of the sand. So hopefully even with these upgrades, we're not going to have throughput issues. I feel like I've said hopefully too much to rely on the production here. Bear in mind, this is only for... Oh, right. Only for the character. But I was just thinking, like, for, like, the Steel Axe Taz, like, is that an annoying problem to have to deal with? Or is it just kind of not as big of a deal as it sounds because you just do trial and error anyway? Are we sending any nuclear centrifuges? That's not their name. How do I search? Can you search what's in a rocket? Probably not. Huh. Okay, I am sending a few centrifuges though, which is not that many. How can I increase that? 5. This way, if we decide to expand it later, we have them. I don't actually know how many we have, though. What is this limited by? Oh, we only keep 50 at a time. Okay, we can start doing 100. Okay. 26. Perfect. We're going to make a save because I forget stuff a lot. And I don't want to ship all this only to realize I'm off by... I forgot. You know, I don't want to ship all that only to realize I forgot literally everything. Okay, so we don't actually need this anymore. We can replace it with a roboport, which I know it's roboports aren't a replacement for those signals, but we need a roboport here to put robots into that gets shipped. There we go. Okay, we don't actually have a way to unload this yet, but that's okay. Then realistically, we should be limiting how much we bring over. But honestly, we don't send building rockets enough to worry about it. Let's see. Your vulcanite processing does a lot of self-recycling, and then at the end, what's left gets passed on to be cubed. Yeah, that's the idea here. So we have most of this stuff gets put onto the same belt, and then a third of it. And then most of it gets output directly back onto the belt to get consumed by the next lane. So that's most of our recycling, and then this is the end where we recycle it. It's just the throughput for the enriched is so low that I realize doing self-recycling on that probably doesn't matter. Because it uses them in a 1-to-10 ratio. So I figured I'm probably not going to make this long enough to need to worry about self-recycling that part of it. But I mean, if we do... Well, we don't really have the space to add that later, so hopefully we're right. We can always do a blue belt expansion. At some point, if we realize we are very wrong. But yeah, that's the general idea behind ours. Did we bring substations? I think so. Or it already had them. Gosh, I love substations. I never really use them much, so it's really nice. Okay, and then I don't actually want this to go into two different chests now that I think about it. What we need is something to handle rocket parts, which would be rocket part, space capsules, so that way they eventually get sent to the main lane. Or we could send them somewhere else and have like a filter, but this should work. Alternatively, we could do this. Yeah, that works. That way we can use both of these chests, because I want to be able to use both of these chests for storage, just because I didn't plan for it initially. Okay, and then it should filter everything out. Oh gosh, that's not right. Um, you know what? It might work. Yeah, it'll work. It'll get to this, and then this will filter them. Cool. Everything's okay. We have so many chests here that I don't need, though. I should just get rid of them. So if that does work, that means we can actually just keep this here. There we go. I like how we redesigned it and just kind of left it at whatever weird amalgamation it had. Okay, and then this prio right. Because this was just empty, and I think that's why that still exists. See, it's an annoying slowdown because it means that it takes 244 takes instead of 240 to craft a burner mining drill. It doesn't really sound like that much, but definitely adds up whenever you realize you need like 15 mining drills. That's almost a second or two. What would have made like the second barrier. Definitely would be the most painful, I think, if you're close to a second barrier. A second, as in a 1 second barrier, not like a barrier. The second barrier. I feel like those have very opposite meanings right now. Anyway, this is working. That's the important thing. The input speed is not nearly enough. Oh, these were supposed to be doubled up. Whoops. Oh, these are staggered wrong. Wait, no, this is correct. So you have used chest chains only twice before, buffering all your nuclear fuel and trying to store all your doluranium. I like chest chains. The reason that I had them like that before is because I didn't bring enough warehouses. Well, obviously a warehouse would be much better. The only reason the chest chain existed is because I couldn't fit the warehouse where I wanted, but I could fit a chain of chests, and I needed it to store like 400 stacks of rocket parts until we switched to the dedicated rockets. Because we used to send rocket parts, we used to send everything through this one chain and then buffer it outside the chain and then request things as needed using logic. And then I don't know, I didn't really like that setup. I ran into a lot of issues, so we stopped doing it. Did I break the rocket fuel belt? Did I? Rocket fuel belt. Oh, I didn't realize we were still using this. I guess this just slightly reduces the this just burns. Right, it turns excess stuff into rocket fuel, so that way we have to request rocket fuel rockets slightly less often. I remember now. Thank you for catching that. Okay, this seems to be working well, though. I'm happy with that. Now we just need to actually recycle it. I feel like this will take a while to back up. But it seems to be working well. I think technically this might be able to soft lock. The way that I have it set up. It can technically soft lock. How do I fix that? Should I just do a buffer chest at the end? I guess realistically it won't. Yeah, I think it's unlikely to. So maybe I don't need to worry about it. Because the soft lock situation would be these don't actually have any way to output. If for some reason this is a solid belt moving on a constant loop. which might be able to happen. That might not be possible, but it might be. So if we do something like this with a prio, that could keep things moving slightly. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Well, if it soft locks, we can come back later whenever we realize our base isn't running anymore, right? That's the easiest way to go about it. Now, am I going to have enriched cause problems? I don't think I will. Sounds like your soft lock just means you've got enough for cubing. Yeah, that's true. I was just worried the way that I have the prio set up means I don't know if the soft lock could clear itself, so I might have to change one of the prios. Because it would clear itself if I have the prio, not in a really silly way. Hello, Arturs. Welcome, welcome. Okay. And now we can upgrade these all to blue belt. Perfect. Can't wait to realize all of this is wrong and broken. But yeah, the soft lock does mean we have enough for cubing, so really we just need to... If we just remove this prio, I think it's fine, right? Because it will always get fresh material, and this usually isn't the bottleneck. So yeah, if I just make that a splitter, I think we're okay. That should be okay. You can use Logis cables for simple solution. Only 2 are needed to never worry about it. Interesting. What's the idea with the logic cables? Is it just to limit the belt throughput to like 80% or something? Like just 2 here to make it that it never fully saturates? Or is there a better idea? I don't see how I can do it with just 2 cables without like also an inserter or something. But I'm definitely interested. It's probably not an issue, but I am worried. Because if it is an issue, I will not notice it for a long time. Honestly, we could also just do a buffer chest. A buffer chest with like a siren. Oh wait, if we do a buffer chest, is that better or worse? Did we not send prod 2s? Oh. Oh, we're sending... Oh, okay. I see. I was like, there's no way we should be short on prod 2s here. I don't know which direction this is going. So we're just gonna... You know, we're just gonna use the module inserter thing. It'll take a little bit longer. Oh, they already got them. Okay, so we did go the right direction. Excellent. Yeah, we were using prod 2s for the miners, which honestly, there's 9 million ore there. I don't think it's going to be a problem for a long time. Okay, and then we're somehow actually backed up, so we do have enough for this. If there is too much enriched from customers coming, block it from the loop. Do it opposite for raw. How do you tell if there's too much coming? Do you just like read the belt and say like if this is greater than 8 or something? Yes, read belt. Okay, that makes sense. So that would be right there. So first we need to figure out if we actually have enough. Oh wait, which planet is this? This is Mordigan. Okay. Oh, that's why these were producing so fast. Because they had speed modules and they didn't have anything to lower the crafting speed, so they just worked crazy fast. Looks like we're getting plenty of shiny, but none of the dull. I think that's just because it takes... This entire thing has to back up. And then it will start giving me the dull. I so I don't think that'll be a problem. You went back this week for your old save. Took you a bit to fix changes in recipes. Oh, like you mean like an old save before they had like a big patch or something, and you just like continued that? Oh, there we go. See, now it's backing up, so now everything's fine. And now I think we immediately run into the soft lock issue I was talking about. Immediately. Uh, Another option is to chain them together, maybe. But yeah, this is basically the issue I was wanting to avoid. I think we just can change the prio, right? We probably recycle enough. Maybe we just remove the prio. Let's see what happens with no prio. Or we could do this. Rebelt. Enable if this is less than 6. I think that does what I want it to. So it doesn't add new stuff if this is filling up. Although because of how this is split, this might not actually fix it because this can still output a full belt, but we'll see. I think it makes it a little bit better. We have the run contents on. There we go. Wait. Yeah, I think it's doing what I wanted to. So you tended to build bigger due to Sushi Masters? What's Sushi Masters? Is that a mod, or did you just like doing sushi designs? Whatever. I think it worked best without the splitter. I don't trust what it's doing otherwise. Okay, so if this backs up, it just gets fresh stuff from here. Okay. Should I have a way for fresh? Is that what I'm missing? I don't have a way for... I guess technically this can make it... Fresh stuff can make it all the way over here. It just takes a bit. Okay, maybe it's fine. Because I was thinking we don't have a way to process fresh stuff without also going over here, but I think that's wrong. I think we do. And now it's starting to kind of back up. Oh, you know what? Now that I've looked over here, we're actually doing much better than I thought. Am I outputting more than a belt? No. No, we're good. Okay, it's cleared itself. Now we just need to figure out the ones that aren't outputting at all. Are just probably not connected. You doing sushi from space time. Gotcha. Yeah, sushi's fun. I'm not good at it. I do like it. Why is this not working? It is working. It is working. I'm gonna ignore that for now. What about a lane balancer on shiny vulcanite before it gets merged with the dull? I thought I had that. Oh, I guess I don't technically have a lane balancer. I just kind of assumed 50-50 they would balance themselves, but we could just force a lane balancer too. Just in case they produce unevenly. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Okay, I mean honestly now they're working full speed, so that makes me a lot less paranoid. And I think what is our issue? How is this limited? Why I'm so confused. I thought I did the math. No, I didn't. I just guessed. Of course, I forgot. I didn't do actual math. I tried to do the math and I was like, nah, I don't need to do math. And here I am. Okay, so we don't have any like long inserters here, right? So I should be able to do a blue belt all the way up. And then I think we only need to do it part way. Because it doesn't look like we output a full belt. So we should be good. Although we brought 1,000. We bought 1,000 blue belt. Why am I being stingy? This is why we brought like 1,000 blue belt. There we go. These just ran better than I thought they would. I really didn't expect these to be able to fill out a lane. I think it's because I was comparing it to my original miners, which didn't actually have beacons for most of them, so they ran really slowly. I could probably redesign this with the new miner design. Would be worth it now that we have the modules. Or I can just do this and say it's good because it honestly is. Math is for the weak. Exactly. Just guess and then just keep guessing. It's all about it's the experimental or the it's well, I guess experimental also is accurate. Empirical measurements are the ones you trust anyway. I wonder if I need more output speed. I might need to double up the output inserters. Because prod modules and such. That means the beacon. These were like so perfectly encapsulating the whole thing, and now they're not. Yeah, we definitely didn't account for the fact that we're getting about 40% more, I think. No, 24% more. I looked at it and was like, it's a 1-to-2 ratio because of 6-to-3, 2-to-1 ratio. But with the prod modules, it's actually 2 to like 1.25. There we go. This is looking a lot healthier. And then if these ever back up, which I don't think they will, but if this ever has too much throughput, we can bypass this and send this through. Okay, so is there a quick... That's a dumb question, of course not. Is there a way that I can add beacons to these original designs? I don't think so. Because I would like to switch this over to a prod module design, but I don't think that is going to happen. Because this was an interesting design, to say the least. This was back when I trusted long inserters to move fast enough in space exploration, before I truly grasped how much you really use of everything when you run a machine full speed. Okay, so ideally this will stop firing at some point. Not with how those are designed. Yeah. I thought maybe the beacons had like one more range. But it would need to be here to get them. That's okay. The important thing is we did increase our vulcanite production by a lot. Vulcanite blocks. Because this is what it was at for a while. And then it was nothing for a bit. And then it went back to there. So now we're producing about 3 times that. I do have wide area beacons. Well, I have the technology for them. I have not set them up yet because we don't have a good supply of holmium, because a lot of our other planets were kind of lacking in production. So we need to go through and fix that still. But yes, we do have that option pretty soon, I think. And then, did I bring any speed 2s? I did bring speed 2s, so I can just upgrade those, and then we can get enough going into this. Yeah, if we can do a wide area beacon, that could reach. I don't know if we've built any of them at all. We really need to switch over to them. Whoa! Those are way larger than I thought they were. Because they're like extremely module efficient, right? Like they're way better in every single way. So 15 modules at 50% transmission. So it's the same amount of Okay, same distribution efficiency, but you're going to more machines, so it does result in you using like half the modules or more, or like a quarter of the modules if you have an actually good setup with them, which I don't, but you know, one can dream. And then theoretically, these could get some more prods, but they're okay. How's our power? We've basically just doubled our power consumption, but that's okay. We're gonna launch this. I know it's a little bit of a waste of a launch, but I think we need to get our smelting up and running. More machines affected and more modules to affect them. Yeah, well, but more modules to affect them won't affect like the module efficiency. I was just trying to think like, would it reduce the cost of the speed modules that I put into them? Because right now I'm kind of stingy about using speed 2s or speed 3s because I haven't really scaled up that production. So with wide beacons making it that the average cost of the module goes down, that will help a lot. Okay, so yeah, our limiting factor here should be, well, hopefully clearing itself. I don't actually know if we can process enough vulcanite yet. Can we do productivity modules here? We can. Okay, which means we need a beacon. There we go. And then I think this will work. Unfortunately, it does not, but we can do this. I like how we can see the remaining structure from before when I had that exact same thing happen. Okay, this should produce enough pyroflux now. I mean, our limiting factor is actually how much is on the belt. Also, I like how I sent a rocket, and I don't think I actually hooked it up to the right spot. Where does this go? No? Wait, hold up. Is it just belt delay? I'm confused. Oh my gosh, we are limited by the ability of this to... Okay. That's wild. There we go. We were limited by the single stack inserter here. No wonder why we are struggling. That's exactly the kind of design I would make. Not expecting that I would ever need pyroflux. Or be able to, like, produce a lot of it. But it's good now. And we're now consuming 24% less pyroflux, which is very good. We still need we still need the power poles, but I'm content with this. I wonder if we're gonna have sand troubles here. We might. Probably not. If we do, boom, now we won't. I like how I just have a random, like this isn't the most efficient use of sand, but it's also sand, so who cares? Okay, so this, yeah, I was right. We will have sand troubles. But this should double it pretty easily once those guys get there. Yeah, okay. And then Novice is still getting attacked on the corner, but we added a lot more fire so they don't make it through as often. Excellent. You're disappointed. Wait, why are you disappointed? Did I do something that wasn't spaghetti? Well, what? No, it has to be related to spaghetti, right? Let's see, what? Something's too clean. Oh, I did do math recently. Set up a delivery chest and fire your vulcanite sand over it. I don't think we're producing enough delivery rockets and the sand on the other planet. But that would work pretty well. Okay, I can't tell if this number is increasing or not. We've definitely done stuff like that before, though, so that does seem in line with how I would make a design. I guess we can just extend this again, right? You've put out a Blaze It VOD, and then you somehow missed any 420 references? Oh, okay, so the reference was in my socks, mostly. And the fact that it was a burner run. But I didn't really notice until the day after. See, where... I thought I had socks. Yeah, there we go. That's not... I don't want to change the command. There we go. Does that... There's the reference. It was just a... It was a visual reference that people can't see. The best kind of reference. An ineffective visual one. Okay. I think we're okay. Everything is running a lot better now. We actually have iron, which means this is... we have radars, and now they're motor limited. Excellent. That's progress. And now copper's... Of course, now copper's limiting. See, more socks. We always need more socks. And yeah, these are... We're wearing the carrot socks today. I really like this pair. I hadn't worn them in a while because I keep them in a separate box. Carrot wheat, exactly. Okay, so we're actually still limited on Pyroflex. It's probably going to take a while to back up. Because we have to fill every single pipe before it starts up again. Are we not producing enough? Is it that simple? Oh, well, I mean, we did just stop it right now, but... It takes bots forever to build things, huh? But yeah, this should fix it. If this doesn't fix it, that means we're consuming a lot of Pyroflex, and I don't think we can sustainably produce that much. So hopefully it's just a buffer issue. Because if not, I don't really have a great plan. Okay, so we need... Oh, this plan is browning out. Yikes. Okay. Is that something I need to care about? Why is it browning out? That's the first question I need to be asking. Why is it not able to power itself? It could just be because it's a brownout. I mean, we needed to switch to nuclear power on this planet anyway, right? So why don't we just set that up? Okay, so we have a nuclear plant we can use. Here. Actually, we have 2 nuclear plants we can use. One of them uses condenser turbines. The other one uses regular turbines. We don't technically need condenser turbines. In fact, they're worse. Because they have less energy efficiency. But I don't actually have a design that doesn't use them, so I think we might just use them. The yellow inserter struggling on a red belt. I really wanted this run to feel like burner inserters, you know? I can't get enough of it. Also, we need to stop sending... I think we need to stop sending repair packs in our refueling train, because the issue is every time they get used, they don't go back into the chest, they go back into the roboport. So what I'm doing is I'm shipping out repair packs to all these roboports, and then immediately shipping out more repair packs, because we're constantly getting attacked. But they're not ending up in the original chests, which means we're just constantly running trains from here to here, sending nothing but like 200 repair packs at a time. I think I just need to remove them. You only use condensers when they're required. Water is infinite everywhere else. Yeah, that's the idea. The issue is I do have a setup. I have 2 kinds of nuclear reactors. One of them uses less fuel, but it's designed with condensers in mind. You know, I'll just use these ones. The other ones feel cheaty anyway. Well, we'll just go with my normal reactor. Reactor. See, read logistics from one of the roboports. It should see all the repair packs. Oh, well, the thing is it's my entire network. Or do you mean like connect all of the wires to a chest over here and add that to it? Was that the idea? Actually, maybe they are just being consumed. But honestly, repairs aren't something I need done so fast. Like, I can afford to wait for the repairs generally. I think I should just stop shipping repair packs. Now, it would be a whole different story. It would be a whole different story if this wasn't connected to my main base. Through a very, very large robot grid that goes through a quarter of the planet. We're just going to ignore that and how suboptimal that is. You'd then isolate your walls from the rest of the network. Yeah, that could also work. But I don't, like, there's no issue with it going across. Like, that's never, it hasn't caused any problems. So it's not something I feel needs to necessarily be fixed. Because I do like just being able to build things anywhere. So I think the easiest solution is just stop sending repair packs. Because the only other solution other than that is to disconnect every segment. And I don't think I don't think we have the infrastructure to support that until we switch over to Spidertrons. Then things get a little bit nicer. If we switch over to Spidertrons, we can be more flexible. But right now we can't really build stuff without having the Robo Network connect everywhere. There's also a couple lakes we still need to fill in. See, repairs are like, they will put in a Roboport, then they will pick it up out if robot is sitting in the Roboport. Is that why they never grab them? Because these guys would just happen to be closer. It's funny when you deconstruct Roboport, confused spots everywhere. Yeah, we should just deconstruct everything and see what happens. Yeah, I should just switch to Spidertrons. I think I have the tech. Maybe we should do that next time. Let's see, the only thing hard to get out of this, I think, is girders. And they're not hard to get, I just haven't set them up. Biomass we have. Portable RTGs. Very easy to get. Okay, so Spidertrons are a lot cheaper than I thought they were. I mean, they're not, like, cheap, but they are very, very much something we can make. Heavy girder. Exactly. Deconstruct the whole base, start from scratch. Oh, heavy girders are really easy. We have iridium plates down here. We have vulcanite down here. Actually, we don't have iridium plates down here. That's a lot. Wait. Oh, wait, we just added them last stream. To get a slightly cheaper heat shielding, which, by the way, do not run because we don't have a sustainable source of iridium. But that's not important. It's not important. We somehow haven't researched anything in a long time, so that's weird. Wait, what? We don't have red science packs? Wait, that's not right. No, there's no way that's right. What is wrong with this? Oh my gosh. Okay. That sounds about right. Wait, this isn't automate. Wait, what? What's the green signal? If any of these are less than 51. Okay, so this should work. The issue is we just accidentally backed it up with green science once. Okay, this is gonna send like 5 stacks, isn't it? I don't know. Oh, it's also missing a space capsule. What the heck? I don't understand the issues that we have with this. Mark this as a starter base and nuke everything. Yeah. We'll just nuke like 150 hours of our base. That won't take a while to recover at all. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with our core setup at least. That's the one thing that I know is working okay. We're still missing Pyroflux, by the way. Is it just the fact that it has to go through like 20 tanks to reach this? I think we can get rid of a lot of our tanks now. They were from a time where we didn't have fully automated, that we weren't actually consuming Pyroflux. It was like a dark time where we pretty much just buffered it eternally, and I think it's causing a problem. Typical gameplay in big mods, this is just a starter base repeated every 100 hours. Just keep making new starter bases. Honestly, you kind of do. Once you lock new tech, you just kind of need to overhaul everything. Yeah, this really is not work. I mean, we could also just add more trains, so it's not a problem that we're shipping 200 repair packs at a time. I could also maybe just use more. The orbit also looks pretty starter basey. Nuke it too. Let's just nuke everything. Honestly, most of my bases are effectively starter bases, so we can just destroy them all. The world will not be that much worse for it. What was I doing? I got distracted. I was doing something before Spidertrons. Oh, right. We are browning out. Yes. We needed nuclear power. Okay. So we don't really have landfill or access to cliff explosives, so we just have to accept that these are going to be a bit messy. Okay, this is designed to be built on water, though, unfortunately. So, can I just ship? Can I just ship it? How much landfill would I need to bring? That's a 100, that's about 60 tall. Actually, wait, let's just look at this. 70 by 130. So max I need is 7,000, right? 70 times 130-ish. 10,000. But obviously there's gaps. Yeah, you know what? This is designed to be built on water. We're going to build it on water. So we did set up a building rocket. Unfortunately, very much unfortunately, this place is browning out. So we'll see how that works out. And then we can turn this to paused. So that way we only read the other ones. I think we just are gonna have a very overfilled rocket, and that's alright. Let's see, this is filling stuff. Do a ship coffee on the original, then it grabs the tiles too. So we have a mod that will take care of that, so I'm not too worried about that. We have a mod that just puts landfill underneath everything. But yeah, it looks like we actually need to summon landfill. Summon landfill. Landfill. And we're just going to bring 10k. And then our cliff explosives being requested, because I'm not entirely sure we are bringing them. Oh, we bring 200 to each planet. Okay, cool. Okay, so this one is a nuclear reactor setup, which means these are the wrong turbines. Okay. How many do I need? The main thing is we need to make sure we have enough for this. It's 200 turbines, 8 nuclear reactors, okay? 8. Okay, so this one, maybe I shouldn't have changed it. Oh, it's too late now. We'll just make it both. It's fine. Yeah, but yeah, we have a blueprint we can look at. 200 heat pipe, 112 heat exchangers. Okay. 200 heat pipe. Heat pipe's good. Then we need offshore pumps. It feels weird to bring offshore pumps because they're so cheap, but we obviously don't have them on the other planet, so we need to bring them. Well, we have a few. Offshore pump. We'll bring 20. And then everything else we should have, which is a bit of a big assumption, but it's an assumption that I'll make, and it's probably okay because it won't cause terrible things to happen. I think I need to decrease the amount of belt I send. I should have belt in a separate one so I can just disable that. in case I don't really need to bring it. Okay, well, that fixes that. We have set up nuclear power on another planet before, right? I think we have a planet that I don't have on my pins that has nuclear power. Yeah, I forgot. We had a Vegemite planet. This one we're shipping water to, but what we can do is we can copy this. Because this setup is very usable. We just need to change the letters before it actually gets a delivery. Yeah, but that's not a problem. Okay, and then we need to go to Hera. This will go, let's see, blueprint, copy. That can just go there. I don't know why I have it as absolute. Oh, because I was testing the dimensions, right? Okay, so this can just go here. That should work, I think. Actually, wait, that might not work. I think I noticed a problem pretty much immediately in that. Yeah, we don't really have spots for the offshore pumps on both sides. So what we can do is this. I think might work. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't actually tried to use this mod with the offshore pumps here. It might cause problems. And then I have this blueprint here. The return trip and this output. And then once these get shipped, we need to change it. Okay, it's D and E right now. We should probably set it up on the other planet first, huh? So that's this one. We have D and E, so we'll change it to whatever two letters after that is. So D goes to F, D goes to F, G, and G. I wonder if there's like an automated way to do that. Probably not. Oh no. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, so technically we do have one delivery cannon that we can steal because this one is no longer necessary, right? So that will work, but we need to ship more over here. I didn't realize we were out. But yeah, this one does nothing because we now ship this stuff via rocket. And then everything seems to be pretty good over here. Things are slightly backed up. Actually, no, this is terrible. We need to keep this on. That's the wrong one. Okay, turns out we do have issues with it not running fully. I think this fixes it though. Maybe not. Seems to be a bit rough. Actually, that might be fine. Because it does recycle at least half. So we only really need the throughput to support the first half, which a red belt can do. So yeah, this should be okay. Yeah, we clearly did not set that up right, and I think it's good now. I don't think these can cause any problems. It's really just this lane that can break stuff. Okay, anyway, the reason we were on this planet, we were setting this up. G, F, perfect. We need to choose different locations, but that's easy to do. I don't remember what the planet is called, actually. We have... I think it's Hera. I want to say Hera. There we go. Press it into exit satellite mode. That's not what I meant to do. And then this one is also Hera. I like how they have a very similar name. Perfect. Okay. Those are connected. We haven't changed the letters. We got G. We got F. We got nuclear fuel, perfect. And then I think we're just waiting on the rocket delivery now with 10,000 landfill, which should be pretty close to ready, right? Oh my gosh, it has not even started. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I see the issue. I think we're just gonna hand fill this. Do we know where the building rocket is? I think we named. Oh yeah, we labeled it on our map. Oh my gosh, we did basic things like pin something, which is incredibly exciting because I don't often do that. Okay, so for some reason things aren't running as good as they should. Are we out of oil again? Oh my gosh, we have oil problems. That is bad. Where's our oil at? Actually, where is our oil at? Oh, it literally just arrived. Okay. Let's see if it has anywhere to go. Okay, so if it had places to go, why am I having oil issues? Maybe I don't have enough oil trains? Hmm. This would be auto oil adapter. Yeah, we do only have one oil train, which we can very easily copy. But it looks like our problem is just not enough stops for oil. Let's see. I know we're producing oil here. That's not that backed up. We just need to look where it says auto oil in. I think we just haven't connected all of the new oil yet. Yeah, oh. Yeah, so we do have oil, but there's like 3 more oil patches we need. Lots of tanks are good for storage, but bad for throughput. Yeah, we're not having throughput issues, so that part's fine. Yeah, we don't think we have anything. Yeah, we don't have enough oil consumption for the throughput to be a problem yet, since we have it pretty evenly split. So the biggest issue is just that we have depleted these down to 400% when they used to be 2,000. So fortunately, they can't go much lower. So we should get to the point where we have enough oil with everything at minimum to keep our base running decently. So we're gonna take this off. We're gonna replace this in a storage box, and we're just gonna shift things by hand. Okay. I think that's okay. What all is it missing? It hasn't gotten any of the heat exchangers yet. It's still missing very important stuff. Okay. So the issue is that it's actually sending way more than it should because it's assuming that nothing is being sent through, which isn't great. But I guess the planet needed stuff anyway, so it's not the worst thing. And also, Hera has been missing a lot of stuff anyway, like prod modules, so it'll be nice to finally get that checked off the list because it's been screaming at me for a long time. Prods 50, speeds 50. Okay, so while we wait for that to fill, let's take care of our oil problem a little bit. So we have a design, right? So we can take this. Sure. And paste that there. I was not holding down shift somehow. Okay. Probably didn't need that signal there. Oh well. And then that's about it. That's all we need. Oh, the reason we have the two, right, I know why we have the two sections. We really need to make we also really need to make a blueprint for probably, honestly, we can probably start doing beaconed oil pump jacks, right? Because we power our base. Or we do power our base with nuclear power, which means we can convert nuclear fuel into oil effectively. You're jealous of the oil in percentages in your SA key 2 oil's finite? Oh, right. I've heard about that. That sounds absolutely terrifying. Um, why is it that way? Well, is there anything to make up for that? Or is it just something that's harder for the sake of being hard? Because like sometimes things like that are harder, and then they have it balanced out by the fact that you get like ultra productivity really fast. But sometimes it's just harder. Yeah, it's definitely nice. Like we already are struggling, so I couldn't imagine not having it be finite. I wouldn't want to have to expand fast enough for that. Okay, so that should activate. Well, late game tape K2, so you can just print oil, you guys. Oh, we forgot to cap. We didn't copy the station name, I don't think. Download mod and every resource is in percentage and not finite. Yeah, I guess it's really just oil that I have a problem with. I don't mind everything else being finite. It's just oil in particular. The idea of it being finite terrifies me because it's power for a good chunk of the game. I guess K2 gives you really early renewable power, doesn't it? Like you get, I mean, they're not great, but you do get solar panels or wind turbines fairly early. But yeah, I used to like the infinite mining for like bobs for about like a day, and then I just realized it made the start incredibly slow and it made the end game incredibly not that interesting because you stopped expanding pretty quickly because you're just like, oh, I have free resources now. I've beaten the game. This is a terrible patch actually, but that's okay because we can make another one. Okay, that's named correctly. Excellent. Oh, we have not done this correctly. Okay, good to know. Let's see. Oil. Ah, that's not lining up. There we go. Pipe, and that's actually fine. But it looks like this was missing one rail somewhere. Wait, which one did we copy? That's auto refueling. Stream stations look remarkably similar to each other. Wind turbines, yeah, they're pretty bad. So I think early on they get invalidated, but they are an early source of infinite power. Because my biggest concern is just getting like soft locked pretty much immediately. But there's probably more things to be concerned with. I need to go to. Also, this reminds me, I really need to go to editor mode and make a 5x5 blueprint of pumps. That way I can place them easier. Okay, so this obviously has to be divided into two sides. Especially since I am being lazy and just dragging full-size pumps. So, let's see. There's one. And then the other half will be here. Perfect. I mean, even if I didn't do it like this, even if I split these into undergrounds, it wouldn't actually make a huge difference. Once it gets above like 50 to 100, I feel like the difference an underground can make is pretty negligible. So yeah, we'll just divide it into two. That should be okay. Use 3 turbines to keep water pumps to power infinitely. Yeah, we have to use a solar panel plus accumulator setup here. It would be nice to have safe power. I do like it for that use case. Although I would much rather have the pumps, offshore pumps, just not require electricity, because I feel like that doesn't add a ton, aside from looming fear of just not having power ever again. But maybe, I guess that is something it adds. It's just mean. And then substations, because we almost forgot to power this. That was a slightly expensive substation setup, but hey, it's free. And then, oh, look at that. We have so much more oil. I think we need to copy our oil train. Let's see. Should be easy enough to build two of. I thought we already had two, but I guess not. So yeah, now that we have more oil stations that will take a while to get to, it's a good idea that we expanded that. Okay, now this is on the wrong side, I think. No, this is on the right side. Actually, it doesn't matter. I can't place it improperly. Well, I can, but it would be very hard. Okay, how do we do this? Can it fit in through there? Oh, but that blocks a lot of the oil. That blocks the oil patch. That works. Yeah, that one works. Okay. More oil, which this one is very annoying to get. I don't like this patch at all. I think we have to decon the trees because I can't see a thing over here. And then let's do this one ahead of time. Although this one's actually really easy to see. Wait a minute, I'm using this oil to power, oh, to power a local base. We have a very small, like, local water pipe. Excellent. This one was all the way down there. Okay. You use accumulators now for shutting off the pump, but 3 wind turbines is enough to power 1 water pump. So for power, you set that up on an isolated pole so the pump can run infinitely. Yeah, what we did was we just had like 3 solar panels and then an accumulator on a pump. But that's quickly stopped working because once we got to places where the ratios for solar panel were different, it started being a lot less effective. But it worked for a while. It worked until it didn't. Okay, so there is some oil I can get that's covered by the rails. I don't think I have to care about that. Actually, it's a pretty good chunk of the patch. Maybe I do have to care about that. Okay, there we go, and we can just delete this section. Perfect, and then we can do the exact same thing over here. Is there a better way? Definitely, but does this way work? Actually, I don't know. Probably. I don't think I've earned the right to say anything confidently with trains. But yeah, it looks like it's probably okay. Perfect. Okay. And then this doesn't have a huge oil percentage, so we might be able to justify using 1 pipe here. And then this is one of those things where this will just get progressively worse. So it probably will stop being an issue pretty quickly, which is, I guess, okay. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but it is a thing that we can take solace in and use to justify a not balanced design. And then I guess because pressure isn't a huge problem right now, we can do that. If I need to split it, I can. But this is only it is 2,000%. And with productivity, it really should be split. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it performs when it's actually placed. 2,000% might only be a couple hundred oil per second. I don't actually know how the percentages convert. I think I'm assuming productivity is a lot higher than it is. You're a little burnt on SAK2 right now. Just need to expand in orbit enough to start doing more than just space science. Yeah, there's definitely times where it's even with like this one where there's where it's easy to just burn out because the next thing that you have to do is kind of not something you really want to do a ton, and everything's locked behind it. Like, we need to get to space science. We need to get to Astro 2, I think, before we can do anything, like, super interesting. I just haven't really been wanting to do that. Also, that was in every single blueprint. I hope that doesn't cause problems. But anyway, I think oil is fine. Let's see if any of these are running. Well, okay, this is good, and it is requesting a train. Okay, I think we're good. I think everything's okay. So this one's connected properly. This one's filling properly. Awesome. This one isn't powered or connected. Oh, this was the one that I needed to decon like a ton of trees because I just could not see what was happening. That's why this one's not done. Okay. That makes a lot of sense then. There we go. This is so much easier that we waited. Okay, this needs to be rotated. Underground to go through. I like how I keep like Q picking on pipe because I keep thinking I don't have pipe on my toolbar, but we put pipe on my toolbar last week because I realized I needed to do a lot of oil connections. Because for the longest time we had switched over to space versions of everything because all we were doing was space expansions, and now we're back to like novice expansions. See, and then a concurrent thing is that you need to get cryonite now, and that whole base setup is going to likely take a while. Yeah, setting up a new planet is definitely a time investment for sure. Yeah, these don't do anything. At least they don't break anything. But it's on a rotated rail, which is why it doesn't hook up. Yeah, our Cryonite planet probably took like 2 to 3 streams to set up. I think it didn't help that I think it was like our first planet. So it was the first time we went to a new planet, and oh boy, we were not prepared. We actually ended up destroying the entire planet and nuking it. Like we just deleted the planet and re-rolled the entire planet because it was so overwhelmed with biters. I didn't realize how rail biters worked. Trees in the rail graph. Thank you. I don't think that blueprint. I think the blueprint that I've been pasting had a gap in it, and we need to fix that at every single station, which I think was we already did. But yeah, I was just copying a bad blueprint. Okay, so these are backed up. That means this is not working properly. Or it means... Nope, that was right. It means it's not working properly. Very easy fix. This definitely isn't going to have pressure issues. No. Not with how little oil is left. Okay, so this has never been running, but that's okay because it means more oil now. I love my adapter setup. I feel like they should not be working as well as they are. It seems very silly, but we're literally passing oil from here to here using a train. So that way we didn't have to completely overhaul our system. So you copied the whole mall for your first planet. You were prepared. I mean, that works. Although I feel like you have to then locate iron. But if you can do that, it's a very effective strategy. Okay, this is finally good. I'm happy with that. We'll have to check to make sure they're all running, especially the one with the gap, but overall it seems pretty okay. Oh wait, we never actually hooked these up. I'm glad I immediately changed my mind and decided to check on it now. Okay, and the tree gap is gone. Okay, so we were not producing artillery shells. That was one thing I needed to fix. Also, I really need to start putting radars everywhere. We kind of were slacking on them, and it was a problem. Okay, so why aren't we producing artillery? I thought we fixed our bottleneck. Because our bottleneck for artillery was vulcanite for the longest time. Oh, now it's copper. So it still is vulcanite, just for a different reason. Your first planet was vulcanite, so you can get beacons and prod 3s, but waterless planet with a long day and night cycle and only bad methods for delivery water. ... Yeah, that's they Those conditions are brutal. Fortunately, my vulcanite planet only had biter meteors. I guess my cryonite planet also only had biter meteors. I just didn't really grasp what that truly meant initially, and how bad that situation is if you are not prepared for it. Because that's really what it boiled down to. I didn't know that biter meteors were extremely trivial to deal with if you did in fact bring um, if you did in fact bring satellite defenses. And since I didn't, it got really bad and they covered the whole planet. First two planets should be biterless, both vulcanite and cryo. Yeah, I didn't have any fully biterless ones available though. Just biterless with biter meteors. Did these not connect? Is that the problem? I think I accidentally disconnected both. Oh, when I broke the tanks, they were connected through the bottom. That's why. Okay. I kind of suspected that, but not enough to check. There we go. Although we don't have any vulcanite anyway, so even if we didn't have that, we would have stopped getting production so soon. But hey, we slightly figured out the problem. Okay, so why aren't we getting vulcanite? We literally just like triple our vulcanite block production and it's still struggling. Oh, actually this logic right here is working flawlessly. Very big thanks to that idea. I'm happy with that. Okay, so what is our issue? Oh, right, we can stop buffering this. I think the issue is that it just takes a while to fill a single rocket. Do you recall both your vulcanite and cryo are biterless, like fully biterless? I'm jealous. I might have had. It's possible one of these is. This one might be completely biterless. I know cryonite wasn't. And yeah, you're right. My faith wasn't powerful enough. I should have just believed in the oil. Okay, this is what we were waiting for, right? Oh gosh. We filled it with too much junk. It can't actually build an entire nuclear plant. That's actually quite bad. What don't we need? Actually, what does this have? Okay, it has 100 in turbines, so I can do half the power plant. That's not ideal, but it's not the worst thing in the world. We can get rid of the accumulators. And just kind of do the turbines by hand. Since those are the important ones. Okay, so now we have... That didn't add anything. Wait, where did I put the turbines? I'm confused. What did I put them into? That still says it only has 100. Did I put the wrong turbines? I don't actually know. Huh. Well, I don't know what I clicked on, but it clearly was the wrong thing. Why does it have condenser? Well, that's easy. I only have one set of combinators, and it gives enough stuff for both nuclear reactors. That's all there is to it. This is so quiet. Wait, I can't hear it. Wait, there is sound. Oh, okay. I was so confused. The game wasn't making any sound, so I was worried like my stream was broken, but now it's just me. Okay, so if we remove half of all these, that should help. We don't really need a ton of belt. Because we have a bunch of junk in here that I don't actually want in here. We don't need accumulators at all. Okay, this will be annoying to deal with, but at least it's something. So now we can just start taking half of it out and putting it in the other tank. I don't understand why the entire thing is filled up. I feel like that shouldn't be possible, but obviously it is, so something's wrong somewhere. What is happening? Why can't I... Oh. Oh. Because I'm taking half stacks. That's why. Okay. I forgot how Factorio dealt with stacks. I was wondering why the stack size wasn't changing despite me taking half of everything out. And I was really confused. Factorio moment. That's what I get for playing other games for a bit. There we go. Okay, so that's why the turbines were weird. And then we can remove the condenser turbines, but they're just kind of gonna cycle forever. I think we're just gonna send condenser turbines over. Or you can put them in a different section. I guess I could just remove them from that real quick. We manually change things most of the time anyway. Okay, that looks a lot better. I feel like we do not actually have enough condenser turbine production. I don't know where we produce turbines. Well, condenser turbines go there. So yeah, we definitely don't have enough production if they get immediately turned into other turbines. I actually don't know where we're producing them. I'm not going to make a note of that. I don't think it matters. Okay, this looks okay. We're sending way more than we should. I don't think we're going to be able to make the whole power plant, which is probably for the best. We should only have half of it set up anyway. You feel like they should be explicitly brought over for waterless planets and space? Well, yeah, that was the idea. You got to keep in mind, this is the first planet I've gone to in a really long time that didn't need condenser turbines. The past like 4 planets I've populated have been waterless planets. I've been really unlucky. So condenser turbines were the standard and non-condenser turbines were the exception for a while, which is why they were the primary one in the request. But now we just haven't we have not been lucky with our planets. But ideally I would have separated the constant combinator so I could just toggle them. Oh yeah, I think we installed factory search in the other one. Okay, we're just gonna save it and send it and see what happens. But yeah, we just have an unfortunate situation where everything we want is on a waterless planet. Or like a really biter heavy planet is pretty much what my choices are. How many people do you need to populate a planet? You feel like more than one? That's a... I feel like one could do it. I mean, remember, we have bioscience. we can clone things, right? So we can make it, we could probably make it work with one. You did condenser turbines everywhere just so you could power everything with a single offshore pump. Honestly, I like that idea. Are the turbines worse? Like, they're not worse for power, right? You just need more of them? Or do they actually waste the fuel? They might actually waste the fuel, I'm not sure. Oh my gosh. Um, are we going to be able to start nuclear power before my base browns out? I don't know. This might be problematic. Also, we don't need this much power, so I'm just gonna make it cheaper. That's an interesting idea. You just find that offshore pumps aren't an actual limiter. I get it. It's not for me. It's not that offshore pumps are the limiter. It's that it's annoying to connect like 16 offshore pumps. So it's not they're not limiting the fact that I can't get water, but it's annoying to set up. Let's see, bad efficiency, but 1.5 gigawatts of actual power runs on like 60 watt per second. Oh wow. So that's why my waterless planets almost never have to request stuff. That makes sense. Okay, so how do we fix this? I mean, I guess we can't fully brown out because of solar power. It's just we don't have a ton of solar power. 75%. Yeah, but I wasn't... It could mean like 75% efficiency, as in like it just uses more. You just need more turbines. I wasn't sure if it meant like actual loss in fuel. I guess Factorio does have the way of handling efficiency. It used to, at least. I mean, it still does, but it stopped mattering in vanilla. So I guess I should have just assumed it works similar to those. Those are weird. 50% efficient boilers were sure were something. Okay, so we didn't actually bring enough turbines either. So turbine. What? Oh, because they're the special water ones. Huh. Okay, we're just gonna do this then. We basically only had enough for half of a power plant, so that's what we're doing now. We'll leave the we'll leave the rest here just so it gets built eventually. But I think this looks okay. I don't know why this hasn't gotten shipped anything. Oh, right, because I made it so it doesn't break if power is low. That means it's never going to be able to get a signal, is it? Oh no. How do I do this? How do I do this? This can't produce enough power. Okay, I think I have an idea. What, do we have any solar panels here? We have 9. Okay, so my idea was, what if we give this a local network just to start? And then it will get nuclear power, and then it will get itself out of this brownout. But right now, it's kind of stuck. The other alternative is to just manually send some fuel. Oh, also, we need iron, which I think is really easy to get, right? Yeah. I'm surprised this planet ran out of power. I think it just dipped slightly one time, and it just got stuck in a brownout loop, because this planet produces fuel. Like, it has oil, more than enough oil, and more than enough water. I thought. Maybe not. Yeah, that's another option. We could manually set it up. Oh, we could just do that over here. Here, let's do this. Wait, we can't send fuel cells. Okay. Uranium. And uranium. There we go. My annoyances with the condensers is trying to get them up properly set up without it either clogging up or burning out. It seems pretty easy to prevent them clogging up. Burning out I could see being a problem pretty easily. I usually have an issue with with recycling loops only if it has like 2 separate inputs, but I feel like when it's just water going in a circle, it's not too bad. Although I feel like you have pressure issues if you make it too big. So actually, yeah, how do you not have pressure issues? That seems like the hardest part there. Yeah, we need some spicy rock. We don't actually have a bot coming towards us with this stuff. Are we not inside the logic range? You know what? You know what? We are very close to a nuclear reactor. Why don't we just grab it? Oh wait, we don't put. Oh, that's why we don't really. Okay, never mind. I thought I had an explanation. I do not. I don't know why it wasn't bringing anything to us. Okay, so we send 1 spicy rock, and then we send a better spicy rock. Oh no. Oh, it's off. Okay, good. Hera. There we go. And then we switch it to this one. And we do the same thing. And everything is good. Oh, is that the issue? Thank you. I forgot that we had that. I forgot we turned it off. I thought we just didn't have anything in the network. Because, I mean, that would be reasonable. We don't mine uranium on this planet. If we don't mine it on this planet, I don't usually have it in the network. There we go. Okay. I feel like that was more complicated than it should be, but everything's okay. Hera is missing so much material for construction. Gosh, it has unloaded like nothing. It has unloaded so little. But that's okay. It'll figure it out. See, I like how I have these filtered and side loaded, and then they just go to one chest and get filtered again. So these could all be one. These could all be one inserter. So you did groups of 10 turbines on their own water loop, then just gets topped off from the main water supply. It's very pipe tank inefficient, but hey, no offshore pumps. Okay, that makes sense. So you split it into a ton of separate loops. So that would be like a dozen or so separate loops for like a 2x2. That makes sense. And then the top off, if it's only moving 60, you said 60 water per second total. Yeah, okay. Wait, does that mean you could run theoretically like 20 of those, like 20 gigawatts on a single offshore pump with condenser turbines? Oh, wait. No, you're right. Because it's only a 1% loss in water. So you could run like 100 times the reactors. Not 100. Yeah, 100 times the reactors you normally could. For some reason, when I was thinking 75% efficiency. Then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's also the water efficiency. They would be terrible if that was the case, though. Okay, so as soon as this gets, well, okay, it's gonna take a while, but theoretically, this will get iron. It will get nuclear fuel. It unfortunately will take a long time to get out of this brownout loop it's stuck in, but it can get out of it, and that's what matters. The fact that we have 40 megawatts of solar panels helps a ton, because otherwise we would never get out of it. I feel like we have just enough for things to run okay. I still don't know why oil is a problem. Maybe these are just worse oil. No, this is 1,000 oil. We probably just had like one spike one time, and that caused this problem, and it just never got out of it. Well, it's hard to say if we are limited on iridium then, or if our base just isn't running. Hey, look at this! We have turbines. Oh my gosh, we have turbines on this planet. We can probably run the whole reactor if I deconstruct these. I mean, there's no reason to have these anyway. I want to leave them up right now because they do make my bots work a little bit faster, but I think it'll be okay. And then we can have this set to paused. Okay, so now that we've done that, we really need to figure out how to send condense. Maybe I should just not autofill the rocket as often. That's probably the easiest solution. I think I need to redefine my redo my building rocket. But at the same time, if I just sent them more consistently, it wouldn't be an issue. I just kind of keep hoping that we're going to get to space stations at some point, or spaceships at some point. Ooh, we're oil limited here. Interesting. Like oil or petroleum? Oh no, we're oil. Okay. It might be worth setting up some kind of oil cracking. I don't really remember how this planet works, or which is the best recipe in space exploration. Like, this gets you a lot of petroleum gas. This probably gets you less. I think this is actually this might be the best one for getting gas. Maybe this one with cracking. It doesn't look like that would be more than this, though. So, where do we have oil pipes we can connect? Is anything close? Oh gosh, not really. Oh wait, that's an easy start. Okay, this might get us out of the problem. At least this one doesn't have power associated with oil, so this won't get to a brownout. This will just stop producing vulcanite. And I need a lot of vulcanite. And then this is not terribly far away. You're not sure which is best, but the petrol one makes so much that it's hard for the others to catch up purely in terms of petrol. Yeah. In my mind, one of the other one was better, but I think that was when I used to care about water. Because I think one of them is like really good when it comes to water efficiency, which I cared about when I used to have to send barreled water. But then we started mining water ice, and now I still have that in my head as the best one, or I still have it in my mind that there is some best one for a resource I don't care about anymore. So I really just need to stop pretending that one matters. Well, I mean, not pretending. It did matter significantly at one point. Now it doesn't. Now we just need to care about apparently petroleum efficiency. Then we have a lot of corners we'll have to fix here, which will be fun, I think. Yeah, we can use the word fun. It might be the wrong word, but we can use it. Meteorite just thought mine defense on Vulcanite planet and made first destruction. Don't care, this was just part fuel for rocket, and we'll work on 50% while having reserves for 2 launches. Maybe setting up any defense would help, but you're too lazy to set it up. Yeah, setting up fuel defenses, it is fairly helpful to not getting attacked. But I also understand being lazy to set it up. Someone gave me a tip one time to set up defenses in orbit before I ever land on a planet, and honestly, that was like one of the most helpful tips I've ever gotten for this game. It just makes it so safe because like the meteors don't start spawning until you actually get there. So you just build it in orbit where you have infinite power, and then voila, you're good. Oh, that's true. Productivity does shift it. If you get like 100% productivity bonus or whatever you can get from a single machine, that changes it. Because then the first two values are doubled. Actually, heavy oil is doubled twice. Right? Because productivity, I guess that would be if you got to productivity like 120%. I don't know if that's realistic. Is that how high it goes? I don't know how high it goes. Let's see. 20% times 3. Oh, only 60%. Okay, so it is only doubled once. But still, that definitely shifts it. We could put modules in these. I should probably do that. The umbrella would be much easier to power in orbit too. You assume it protects the planet below? Yep. Yeah, that was the idea. It protects the orbit and it protects the surface, or vice versa. Those share the same meteors. And then umbrella as well. So meteor defense and umbrellas. For umbrellas, now that I have nuclear power, I haven't had any trouble powering the umbrella on any planet I go to. On my main planet, though, I actually power it using like buffered steam that we buffer over the course of like multiple days, which does work pretty well. It was one of the times I used math. One of the few times I used math. Okay, now we need to connect all the robo ports. I guess if we just do one at each pole, we should be good. I don't think we're that hurting on oil, so this should be good. As long as it's somewhat correctly hooked up. Okay, we were waiting on something. We were doing this while we were waiting on something. Oh yeah, I wanted to see if this planet would fix itself. Okay, that is so close to working. And we're missing a roboport in a critical spot. That is fantastic. Okay. No, it's fine. Not a big deal. I just think it's funny that I built it in like the one stretch that didn't actually have anything hooked up. When do you expect to return to burner planing? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays I have set allocated to burner planing. This doesn't need a separate network, does it? No. Okay, so it's good. But I think we're pretty good on we're making pretty good progress. Check. Oh, check isn't. I'm like check. I was like, wait, did I post the wrong time? Or did I say the wrong date? But yeah, we're making pretty good progress. Our we really I can't think of anything that's strictly missing aside from connections of the starter patch and then train count. But train count was limiting pretty much every like small detail we had to do, which was just the 3 separate train setups. And those all just relied on how much stuff do we have to put in a train. Like it was that part's pretty straightforward. Once we have the station, once we have the outpost done, we know how much stuff we need to ship. One thing I'm not sure of is how we account for excess pipe that we need to send. Sorry, no, excess belt that we need to send to the burners. I feel like it's not that difficult. I just need to figure out some average distance between the iron patches and the copper patches, and then maybe give it like a 50% wiggle room. We could also theoretically add underground production at the base. That is something that I can tech. I don't know how viable it is with burner inserters. I'm gonna guess not very, but we might be able to set up local underground production, like on the edge of the iron patch. Because I think we could make it do with like one assembler for gears, right? Actually, no, that would take like half an hour to work to get enough to make a difference. I think we just need to just send whatever we can and just hope there's enough. And then maybe we can connect 2 patches to each other. Let's see. How's this working? Oh, oh. Oh, right. It's going to take a long time to get the first fuel cells. Let's see. If you recall, you think there's eventually a non-bow with umbrellas if you use beam power, but you've never reached that far, so you don't know for certain. I think beam power eliminates like all power problems. I don't know how hard it is to set up, but I imagine it eliminates any concern with being able to deliver power to umbrellas. This is this is so slow at 20%, but as soon as this starts up, we'll get nuclear power in 10 minutes. Yeah, as soon as it's done, we'll get power 10 minutes from then. That's a sentence. Okay, I think we did what we wanted to do today. We fixed radars. We fixed power. Oh, apparently I was aware this was an issue last stream. I just didn't realize it would be that big of an issue. We did that. We were working on this. Artillery rockets is something we can do. However, we're not actually we haven't been producing artillery for a while. I think it's starting to fix itself now, though. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we can afford more artillery rockets. But our planet is we're getting attacked much less often since we've destroyed a lot of the close patches. Whoa, that is a dense thing of fog. Or that's a dent of smog. I like it. And then this is waiting for a train. I don't think we have enough trains for this to work. The issue with umbrellas is that essentially a CME is also a beamed power. Wait, what's a non-bow? Oh, okay. So you can't use them together. So it's the opposite. So do you just have to disable umbrellas every now and again? How does that work? Because I feel like that's what a lot of people use for power. There has to be a way to get around that, I would hope. I mean, I guess we don't have, there doesn't have to be a way. I would just kind of hope there was. Okay, I hope I sent enough prod modules. Oh yeah, they're just still in the rocket. Guess we'll never know, because I doubt we're gonna get there. We have like 2 months left before the expansion, so it ain't happening. Okay, so this is okay. This is set up properly. Awesome. I'm glad we finally have a refueling recycling loop. That's good. Okay, so Hera, I think we can say is good. These are all getting power. They're connected to power. It's going to take a bit for these to set up, but that's okay. That is not right. There we go. We'll just delete it. There we go. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Farthest you've ever reached was the initial tiered science, so beam power was still too far away. Yeah, it's pretty late. We're not even close. Umbrella allow rays from beam as those are targeted and controlled to one place. This is how you tell it to yourself. Oh, so it does. So the game doesn't like block them. It's just kind of like the lore doesn't make much sense kind of issue. That I hate when there's loopholes in my Factorio lore. I'm gonna guess some people. I guess that is something that could matter with the expansion because they are actually adding lore. Are there story-based mod packs? I guess like the MSI is probably one of them. Ooh, this looks really nice. That's a pretty solid amount of vulcanite. And that's still only filling half the rocket. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna do another manual launch. Because this is limiting our main base. And it's already out of vulcanite. Yikes. You know, I was warned that later on I was going to use a lot of vulcanite. I didn't believe them because our core mining was providing so much of it for so long. And then there's just like a sudden drop and everything is failing. So I think we just need to keep expanding the vulcanite planet next time. K2 has a touch of story at the end. You're stranded 200 something years. That's a long time for the engineer to be alive. But I guess we can also carry like 10,000 nuclear reactors in our inventory, so maybe I shouldn't be surprised that they can live that long. Title. What's the task that I need? Oh yeah, even more vulcanite. And then the last thing I wanted to check before I called it, I wanted to see if our rocket parts were actually, backing up these days. No, they are very much not backing up as far as I would like, but they are backing up enough. So never mind. I'll take it back. We do produce enough rocket parts to kind of do okay. And then the red science rocket still hasn't launched. Something's wrong here. Something's not right here, and I don't get it. There's no way all of our space capsules were completely out of space capsules, right? Huh. Maybe we are. I don't know why. Did we oh my god. Oh, wait. Do we not send solar panels at all over here? Is that the issue? Okay, this is something that I can fix though. Using the power of spaghetti. Don't know what's on this belt. I'm going to assume nothing. So we can just send this forward. And then add a new source of solar panels. There we go. It looks like we were taking solar panels from a different belt that we stopped using. Or we deprioritized. Like this one right here. This is like a deprioritized copper lane. And since we're running low on vulcanite and we were running low on copper, that does make sense. So we need to fix our copper next time too. You're out, no cap? I am out. Yeah, I'm out. I was not expecting to be out. I like when no cap can be used unironically. like I'm out, no cap. I think I put that as a title for one of my VODs as well. I'm pretty sure I said it in one of my videos, actually. I was talking about, I don't know, maybe putting a limit on a chest. And I just unironically said no cap, and I'm like, oh, wait, that means something different these days. I mean, it still means the same thing, but I don't know, it was fun. Okay, we have capsules again. I can't believe, out of all the things we could be limited by, red science. Red science is limiting our research speed. In a mod where we have like 10 other sciences that are significantly more expensive. And I was limited by red, which I think feels completely wrong. Like, that should never happen, but we backed up the belt so it wasn't actually producing red for the longest time. And yeah, here we are. I think we also just straight up weren't producing red for a bit, but that's not important. You know, is it time? Is it time to prod mod red science? Is that a thing that I'm going to resort to? Because it feels wrong. But it does make sense right now. That is going to be such an insignificant amount of copper. Okay, science is fixed. It'll get another rocket eventually. Actually, it's probably going to It's probably going to try and launch another rocket really soon. Okay, so rocket parts seem to be okay. Red does have plenty of copper, although that could just be because it's slow. It's backed up. Oh no, it's on the priode side. Cool, that is something. I'll take that win. I don't get many of those in this base. Copper is running terribly in our main base. I think we just need more copper. Oh my gosh. That is like a third of our copper production right there. So I'm going to add that. You need even more vulcanite, more copper smelters in main. Okay, those will be for next week. Assuming we do this next week. We might have to stop space exploration for a couple weeks to do an extra day to burner and stuff. I'm not entirely sure. Copper is fixed. Yes, copper is completely fixed with this 20% increase in copper. It's not even 50. Oh, but look at that. Look how thick this belt is. That looks fixed. I mean, I know that's just because that's the internal buffer, and now it's immediately stopped, but it felt nice for a little bit. And research is starting again. I think everything's good. Beacon the copper. I guess, is that actually the problem? Oh yeah, we just didn't put any beacons on it. That might fix it. Okay, well, if beacons can fix it a little bit, we can do that now. Actually, no, we can't. I don't really have a good way to do a beacon over here. Well, I don't have space for beacons. Huh. There is no space for beacons with the way it's oriented. Oh, I normally do beacons on the outside. Okay. Well, we can do here. This goes to that. This goes to this. Okay. We can do the outer layer. It's a very strong band-aid. Can you go up to the furnaces? Oh, you mean just like show the furnaces? Yeah, they're probably not great either. So I imagine there's a lot we can do there. Okay, this can go here. Why don't I just copy this? And then do this. There we go. That makes way more sense. Let's see. Power, 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 power. I like how I have this double beacon, because these look like they can almost power both sides, but they can't. Okay, so the furnaces might have throughput issues. I'm not entirely sure. They craft so slowly, it's hard to say. But it could be that I need to split the pipe in half. They could also get speed 3s. Theoretically. That might do something. Hold on. Okay. Someone's at the door. Upper right chunk aren't running? Isn't that just because they're backed up, or are they just broken? I thought the pipe was just backed up. Okay, maybe we do have pressure issues. Can we pass it through the middle? I doubt it. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go around. Huh. This isn't working like I thought it would. But that's okay, we can just do that. I hope that works. Okay, that might not split the pipes correctly. Let's see, that's 8 and 12. Not ideal, but it might work. This one's not connected to anything. So it's a weird mix of problems over here. Some don't have ore, some don't have space and pipes to put any fluid. Excellent. Okay. That might work. I'm glad we have the beacons to solve our problem when everything else is also a problem. Definitely worked out great. Looks like one inserter also just isn't enough. You know what? We're just gonna do that to make sure the throughput's fine. You love your idea when you were starting tiered science to start everything from new research lab 1,000 blocks away. Building that long 5 wide science bus was something you didn't want to touch early, and sending rockets from the ground there also sounded wrong to you. Wait, which tiered sciences? Oh, you mean once you got into like the early space sciences, like space 1, space 2, or those aren't actually things. Material 1, material 2, those kinds of things. I'm not a huge bus fan. I mean, they're definitely useful, but I don't know. I've always avoided buses. I like the chaos that is random belts going everywhere, every which way. Okay, we might be able to upgrade the speed modules. Yeah, we definitely don't have the ratios right. I think I can guarantee that. I can say that pretty confidently. What I could do is connect these over here. So that way we can supplement it. I can't imagine this works well, but I think it will work a little bit. That's what matters. It works slightly. Okay, hopefully this helps our pressure problems. And then also the beacons. Actually, the beacons aren't going to do a ton. You know what we have access to, though? 200 speed 2s. Speed modules. Yep, that'll work. You like buses for structure, but you eventually swap to a train-based design where each research source is in its own module. They're both definitely better options. I don't think I could do the bait. I don't think I could keep playing for that long if I did any form of structured design. I appreciate the chaos. It keeps me going. Even if it makes it take so long to expand. This isn't... Oh, this already has a train being sent. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we actually have enough trains now to deal with our oil. Which is probably fine, because if the trains aren't moving oil, that means these are probably backed up. Yeah, okay, so that's not an issue then. I know, I see why a lot of people like it. It is fun to make like a little actually good design and place it a bunch of times. But I also like the... But I also see the appeal of having just like pure chaos. Just they both have their purpose. Vulcanite seems to be better. Burner only sushi based 100% run. Oh god, burner sushi does not work. It's so bad. I don't. It's... You're limited to like a half of the throughput of the burner inserter if you try to do burner sushi. Their throughput is already bad enough. You throw a sushi belt out there, they can't struggle with like 3. Train grids rule. Yeah, train grids are definitely... They definitely look convenient and effective. But not... Consider this. Look how effective this is. You can tell where all these belts go without any thought. Because you don't want to think about it because it hurts your head. But yeah, you... that's really how it works. Sushi would go from... It really would. Okay, so copper is still as terrible. Have we just been relying on like buffered resources for so long? Like there's no way this was just this ineffective. Yeah, well, we did what we could to make this section work better, and it does work a lot better. So that is still decent progress. We're splitting this lane too many times, I think. Actually, no, we're not. We can do this. Okay. That should be good. Okay. So yeah, that will make copper run slightly better. Not that much better, but slightly better. That's what matters. That will keep us going, so that way we keep getting research, we keep getting rockets while we figure out the actual source of the problem, which is really just not having enough smelters. The concrete tell everything. Just don't... The concrete is a mess. Don't look at that. Factorio base is part of your job application when you hire Auntie. Yeah, I don't... Maybe I don't mention Factorio in job applications. See, if vulcanite is low now, is now throughput limited as it's only half a belt. I think it's just because we're buffering up all the pyroflux. If vulcanite is throughput limited by half a belt, then we are only producing half of the vulcanite we need. So if that's the problem, there is a much greater issue somewhere else. Because we only are producing 20 to 30 vulcanite per second. So we only have half a belt. So if we need a full belt to run this, we have other issues we have to deal with that are much harder to fix. Add a line in the CV. You finished space exploration in Factorio. Is finished called... Does finished... is that the same word as giving up? Because I feel like we're not finishing this. But yeah, that's it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow. We should be finishing Red Race mod, finally. We have to launch like 4 to 5 satellites. It looks like it's only outputting onto half a belt at the landing pad. Well, we're only producing half a belt is what I mean. So even if we're not just limiting outputting onto half a belt, we're only producing half a belt. That's what I was trying to say. or get across. Like we're only producing less than half of a red belt. So the half of a blue belt isn't a problem. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Have a great evening, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.